everyone. In this video, we're going to look at what is Amazon S3, which is one of AWS's most popular services. So let's go ahead and jump into the material. So what is Amazon S3? S3 stands for Simple Cloud Storage Service. And AWS launched S3 in 2006. And it's designed for very high durability. That means the file, once you get it out there, it's not going to get deleted accidentally or it's not going to get destroyed. It's designed for 99.99999. I won't read them all. It's 11 nines in all. So that's a very high rate of durability, which essentially means that your files are going to be very safe out there. You can tier the storage to lower the cost. So we'll get into that in just a few slides, but there's a different storage classes that are available, and you can really be very effective with managing costs with it. You can get 5 gigabytes of storage included with the free tier for 1 year, so that's one reason to pick up the free tier with AWS. You can get some free storage. Let's go ahead and look at some more details of the S3 service. What are some of the benefits of Amazon S3? The first one is you can easily scale for massive amounts of storage. There's really no limit to the amount of information that you can store up there, and it's very flexible and easy to use. A large number of storage classes are also available to support many different usage scenarios, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. You can easily configure to replicate data into multiple regions. So if you want to cache data in multiple regions around the world, you can easily set up to do things like that. And you can set up all kinds of workflow and data flow scenarios for archiving. You also have programmatic access to support online systems and processing. So if you're writing an online web application and you want to have access to high durable storage that's readily available, you can use S3 for that, and there's a wealth of API or application program interface support for all kinds of functions within S3. So it's a very flexible system. It's easy to get going. And this is one of the areas, if your company or yourself, you're looking to onboard into cloud computing, storage is a great place to start because it's easy to get started. It's very cost effective, and you can migrate slowly over time. And so those on-premise storage issues that you might have, you can easily move these into a cloud. So a great use case for one of the first things for onboarding a company to the cloud. Let's go ahead and look at some more details about S3. So I mentioned that the S3 service is very flexible. So what are some of the common use cases that companies use for S3? For backup and restore is one really good use case for S3. You can start an early backup, maybe in a higher class of storage, and then archive it later to make it much cheaper. You can use it for disaster recovery. So you can stage, perhaps you have a hybrid cloud implementation and you have an on-premise data center. You can stage a lot of your data up in the cloud in case you have a disaster locally. Then you can roll over to the cloud where you have your backup. You can use it for archiving. You can also use it for data lakes and big data and analytics. Hybrid cloud storage. So the example that I just mentioned, you may have some storage on-premise and then stage that up to the cloud. And so you can have a hybrid situation with your storage. Cloud native applications, we talked about that a little bit earlier, that if you're developing an application, you may want to have access to your data in the cloud as well. And hosting static websites, that's one of the great features you can have with S3 is you can very easily configure it to host a static website, and it's very cost effective. It's dirt cheap to host a website in Amazon S3. Let's go ahead and look at a few more details. So now let's look at a detailed use case. In this case, a user is going to upload some data to a website, and then that website then will push the data programmatically into an S3 bucket. And a bucket is the autonomous unit that S3 uses to store files in. So when you define a bucket, you can define the class of service, the region that it's going to operate in, and some of the other attributes of it as well. One of the things about defining an S3 bucket is it has to have a unique name in order for you to create that bucket. In this case, then once the data is stored in the bucket, it's going to trigger a Lambda function to compress the data and add some metadata to the database. And finally, that Lambda function is going to send an email notification to the user. So I just want to give you an idea of what a typical workflow would look like and how you can use S3 programmatically to put it into a workflow with other cloud components. This really kind of illustrates the flexibility of S3. As far as storage classes, there's a number of different storage classes, and I won't read all the details of these. You can take a look at these yourself, but S3 Standard is kind of the out-of-the-box storage class that you get kind of by default, and it's used for frequently accessed data. And as we go down the chart here, you're going to get less frequent access, and it also lowers the cost. So the lowest cost storage class on Amazon S3 is S3 Glacier and S3 Glacier Deep Dive, and the difference between those is the retrieval time. And you really want to use these for archival type purposes where you're rarely going to want the data, and it takes a fairly long time to access data from these archival storages. And then the storage classes in between, intelligent tiering is designed to kind of automatically pick the best storage class for you that's the best for what you're using it for. So it kind of automatically shifts that storage class to the best economic access for you. And then standard zone 1A, standard S3 Standard 1A and S3 Standard Zone 1A are for less frequent access. So data that's really frequently accessed at the top of the chart, data that's not frequently accessed is at the bottom of the chart. As far as a comparison of the storage classes, I've put this chart up here. You can go out to Amazon AWS and look at this chart yourself. I just want to give you an idea if you want to know quantitatively what the difference is between the storage classes. You can get to that data in the Amazon AWS documentation. For the most part, when you get started, you're going to start with Amazon S3 Standard. Probably move into the archival services, and as you get deeper into applications, you'll probably start moving to the infrequent access to fine-tune your costs. So that's just so you know how to quantitatively get to the differences of these storage classes. Let's go ahead and move to our summary and wrap this lesson up. Amazon S3 is a complete cloud storage solution. It offers low cost and high performance, and there's a number of different storage classes that are available to support different use cases. There's also a number of APIs that allow you to have programmatic S3 from other services, and you can use it in a workflow for end-to-end solutions. So it's not just a matter of having a cloud drive that's parked up there. It really does offer a wealth of different services, and you can integrate these in end-to-end solutions for your users. That's really it for this lesson. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for your interest in this video. If you like the material, please click the thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more material like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. That's it for now. Thanks again. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.